The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Clackamas County Fire District Number 1, Oregon, on your new fire apparatus, job number 32517. Please utilize this job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting on the face of the front bumper, on the driver's side, you'll find your mechanical siren. Just inward of that location, you'll find an air horn. Let's move downward underneath the front bumper. You'll find the road sprays located on the passenger and driver side just in front of the front wheel. Also located just inward near the frame rail, you'll find a closed tow hook, and then located directly in the center underneath the front bumper, you'll find your receiver hitch location. You'll also find in that vicinity your 12-volt access. Let's move up onto the grill of the apparatus, where you'll find two forward-facing emergency warning lights. Moving just in front of the front tires, you'll find your headlight structure, low and high beams, and also a turn indicator. Just aft of that position is where you're going to find an emergency warning light located directly over the front wheel. You'll also find on the driver's side your air intake. Moving just backward of that position, directly over the rear wheel, you'll also find a turn indicator. Let's move all the way to the very back. On the downside of the fender is where you'll find the release mechanism to release the hood. Just a quick image here of the Michelin tire. It is a 11R 22.5. Moving now to the side of the apparatus. This is the driver's side, where you'll find your air inlet. You'll also find the auto eject for your shore power. Moving downward, you're going to find the ultra low sulfur diesel fuel. This is the silver cap location. And then just behind that area, you'll find a black tank, which is going to have the blue cap, which is your 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. You also have in the rear area a set of two D handles. Located inside the compartment space, you'll find LED lighting. As we move into the cab itself, I'd like to point out this yellow placard, which we'll go over in just a moment. You'll also find controls here for comfort for the operator. This is the air ride system for your seat. You'll also find your mechanical siren location, foot pedal at the left foot area. Moving up onto the dash is where you'll find your key ignition. Let's go ahead and talk about the Pierce placard. This is going to be that yellow placard. It indicates your job, date of manufacture, job number. It also has the cold tire inflation in addition with gross vehicle weight ratings, and there is also fluid capacities types and the amount of fluid capacity required. Let's look to the dash now, where you're going to find your filter minder. This is for the air filter on the engine. As we move downward, this is the Allison push button digital transmission pad. Moving to the right, you're going to find your AM/FM weather band radio. Moving downward, you'll find the PTO shift information. This placard area here is going to be your shift at idle speed only, and you'll see a PTO engage, which is a green indicator. Beneath that, you'll find an OK to pump and OK to pump in motion. Once you have those three green indicators, you may continue with your PTO shift operations. You'll also find to the right your pull to apply your system parking brakes and push to release. It is the yellow Bendix brake module. To the right, you'll find a variety of switches. We'll cover some of those switches next. Moving right, you'll find the regen switch, engine brake, mirror heat, low range or high range, a switch for your all-wheel drive to lock position, and then further to the right you'll find window controls for the front and rear. Moving down to the next section, you'll find the water tank level indicator, a switch for either air horn or electric horn. In red, a high idle indicator, an indicator for your OK to engage the high idle. Moving further to the right, load manager, perimeter lights, door locks, and then your siren switch. Let's move down to the dash area just beneath this area, where you'll find at the very top your EQ2B. This is your siren PA control. Moving down into the aluminum or silver area, this is your Darley pump indicator. This is going to be an information center. On the right, you'll find a green indicator for the start switch. Moving down, you'll find either low or high idle indications for the rabbit or turtle. Moving left, you'll find a stop and also a prime switch. And then up at the very top, you'll find all your associated engine control information from oil pressure, water temperature, fuel, and also battery. And then further to the right, your digital readout for PSI. Moving down to the next side, you'll find your road sweeps for front, and also on the right, you'll find 12-volt access, barrel style, and USB. Overhead of the operator, you're going to find your front flood, driver's side scene, passenger side scene, and rear scene. Moving down from that, you're going to find the emergency master, roof light, front warning light, side warning, lower rear warning, and upper rear warning. Further to the right, you'll find your backup camera. This is the monitoring system for that camera. And just between the passenger and driver's side, very front section, you'll find this caution indicator light. This is do not move your apparatus when the light is on, indicating that you have a door or a compartment door in the open position. As we look around inside the rear section of the cab, you'll also find when plugged into shore power, this 12-volt battery charger will activate. And we'll go ahead and continue to look around through the cab here. As you can see, you have 2 seats in the rear. They are containing SCBA bottle storage locations for your air packs. They are the smart dock style. Let's move now to the exterior of the vehicle. You do have keyed door locks and easy pull handles. You'll also find grab handles for firefighter safety for gaining access in or out of the cab. And let's move now up to the very top section. We'll talk a little bit about the booster line that's also in this area in the next set of images, but let's start down at the very bottom. You have some switches here for your manifold drain, foam pump discharge drain, and also foam pump intake drain. Those levers are accessed underneath the step area. Let's move up from this location where you'll find your backpack fill location. And then moving further to the right, you'll find a 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet. This is a female inlet. Moving to the right, you're going to find all your associated drains for the number 3, number 1, and also pump drain, and also driver's side auxiliary. To the right, you'll find your engine cooler. This is a twist, not a pull. Moving further up from that position, this is going to be your pump stage, which is going to be either pressure engaged or capacity engaged, volume or pressure. That's the activation for this module. Moving up, you're going to find your at shift idle indicator. That is for when operating your pump between pressure and volume. Also, you have a caution indicator that the relief drain must be closed to operate. There are some warning labels here. 1, foam failure hazard. Do not mix brands and or types of foam concentrate. Let's move further up. You'll find your driver's main inlet. Moving further up, you're going to find the same functions that you did in the cab, although there is a 15 amp breaker located where the arrow was indicating. This is your tank fill and recirculating line. Moving down, you'll find your tank to pump. This is unique in the fact that in is the open position and out is closed. You do have a set of panel lights. First, pump and gauge indicator, reel rewind, driver's side, passenger side scene lights, and also rear scene lights. Let's move to the left of this indication. You'll find the vacuum and pressure test gauge ports. They currently are plugged. And just down from that, you'll find in red, this module is your Husky 3 foam system. There is an on and off switch in the upper left, digital readout for foam percentage, increase or decrease, and also prime and also operating instructions. You do have a warning placard here regarding pressurized hazard. Be cautious when opening caps. They may be under pressure. You'll also find the number 3 driver's side discharge. This is a water foam capable discharge, 2.5 inch. Further to the right, you'll find the water level indicator in blue. Moving to the right, you'll find your foam level indicator. Once again, red module for your foam. As we move just to the left, you're going to find your relief valve. There is an on-off switch. That's the lever located in the center. As we move down to the bottom, you'll find the pressure, whether you're going to increase or decrease the tension on the spring. Moving up to the very top, you'll find a relief valve strainer. and then all the way to the very top you'll find an open or closed in regards to your relief valve. Let's go ahead and move just to the right to the throttle indicator here. First, in yellow, if illuminated, you'll have a check engine light. Located in the center, you'll find a RPMs digital readout. Moving further to the right, you'll find if illuminated. This is red in color. It is a stop engine indicator. Moving down into the blue section, this is your menu so that you can scroll through the various menu functions. In between, you'll find all your associated engine diagnostic information, oil, water temperature, battery. And then further to the right, you'll find in red a silence button to silence the audible alarm. Moving down in yellow, you'll find the 2 up or down scroll feature for the menu functions, digital readout for pressure, and then all the way to the right, you'll find a throttle ready indicator, which will be in green. And then at the very base, you'll find the throttle right to left for increase or decrease. And then in the very center, you'll find the idle, which you can push to move to the idle position. Let's move up to the very top. You're going to find on the left your pump intake. Located between the pump intake and the pump discharge, you'll find an audible speaker. The outer bezel of this speaker will dampen the amount of volume. To the right, you'll find your pump discharge gauge. Moving all the way to the center far left, you'll find the real discharge water foam. This is an open drain, and at the very top of the booster line is where you'll find the tension for allowing that wheel to spool or spool with more tension. To the right, you'll find your placard regarding 150, 200, and 250 test pressures. The left has the GPM and the right has the RPMs associated with that. Moving to the body now, you'll find 2 bottle storage locations in front and rear of the tire. You'll also find emergency warning lights on the side, and then also a side-facing scene light. Although somewhat difficult to see in this image, there is a water tank level indicator. It is color-coded based on the amount of water in your tank. As we move through with the compartment doors open, let's take a look inside the first compartment here in the upper left-hand corner. This is going to be your breaker box. You can see there's an on and off switch for breakers 1 and also breaker 2. Moving to the rear, you'll find LED lighting in all of the compartments in addition with adjustable shelving. Quick image here of the rear section of your dual rear wheels. Moving just behind this location is where you'll find that winch receiver. As you can see, it's a 10,000 pound maximal rating, and then also the 12 volt access point for control of that winch. Here's the rear of the apparatus. Let's go over a couple items here within this area. Let's first start underneath the tailboard, where you'll find 2 locations for plugging in for trailer adapters. Located in the center, you'll find your receiver hitch, and then just to the left of that receiver hitch is where you'll find your 12 volt access, as you do for the other receiver locations. And then at the very bottom, the diamond plate chrome handle. This will be pull-out step. Let's move now up onto the body itself. On the left-hand side or driver's side, you're going to find 2 steps with a flag holder in one position. Just beneath that, you're going to find all of your associated required lights, reverse, turn, and brake, and also an emergency warning light. You will find a 2.5-inch female coupling. This is a direct tank fill. Moving up from that location to the left, you'll find the rear scene, and then above that, you'll find additional emergency warning lights. Let's move now down to the center section of the apparatus. You'll find a couple of warning labels here. One, do not ride on the side of the apparatus. These are fall indication warnings. As we look inside the compartment, again, adjustable shelving and LED lighting. Let's go to the very top where you'll find your backup camera. And then further up above the grab handle, you'll find a D handle. That D handle allows you to access both doors and move those to the open position. Once we look inside, you'll find your ground ladders. You'll also find additional long tool storage on the upper right-hand side. Let's move to the right side of the vehicle. This is going to be the passenger side. As we identify some of the items here, let's first start with the 2.5-inch rear discharge. There is a gauge in the upper left-hand corner. It is a ball valve. At the lower section, you'll find steps and also those warning labels regarding fall hazard and not to ride on the back of the apparatus. Upper corner here, you're also going to find your hose storage location.
As we move to the very top of the apparatus, you can see it's fully covered with diamond plate. There are some access points here. First, on the driver's side access point, you'll find the access for your tank water. And then as we move forward into the dunnage area, you're going to find your hydraulic system. This is for your Husky 3 foam system. You'll also find foam access for foam fill. Also in the dunnage areas where you're going to find your auxiliary pump and roll engine. Just a couple images here of the dunnage area and also the crosslays. We'll move through at the very top. Water fill location, top access. To the right onto the passenger side, you're going to find top access for foam fill location. Once again, the rear section of the apparatus, we'll move through some of these images because they do kind of mirror the opposite side of the vehicle. This is the receiving location here on the passenger side, just to the rear wheel. You'll also find bottle storage, mirrors the opposite side, in addition with your emergency warning lights and also side-facing scene lights. Once again, as we move through the compartments, you do have adjustable shelving in all of those compartments, in addition with LED lighting. Bottle storage here just to the rear of the wheel. As we move to the front side of the wheel, you'll find additional bottle storage. And then over this section here is where you're going to find the auxiliary engine for pump and roll. You'll also find a water tank indicator and a side-facing scene light. As we move through now to the midsection of the pumper area, this is the passenger side. You'll find all your associated drains, once again color-coded and also labeled. You'll also find the placard here regarding a 500 GPM capacity pump. You'll also find the number 2 passenger side discharge, 2.5-inch ball valve. This is your passenger side main inlet. Moving up from this location, you'll find a dead lay at the very top, and then also find a discharge here, which is your number 4 2.5-inch discharge. This is access through to the crosslay compartment. And then as we move forward, let's move to the front section of the cab of the vehicle. We'll talk about just under those front steps here. You'll also find perimeter lighting. As we look to the compartment just above this location, you'll find that 2 D handles, which will gain access to this compartment. As you can see, LED lighting inside this area. Let's now move to the cab of the vehicle. We'll start at the rear section, and then we'll move through from rear up to the very front. Let's move to the front section here now. You'll find a couple of warning labels here regarding the use of seat belts. Seat belts are red in color for ease of identification. You have diamond plate steps to go inside to the front section and also to the rear cab. You'll also find a warning label here regarding not to ride on the side of the apparatus. There are 2 audible alarms located on the dash. Moving forward of that location to the seat area, you'll find comfort controls. This is adjusting the seat forward and backwards. And then you'll also find an air ride adjust for up and down. Just some quick images here of the front side, passenger side. These are those front sweeps. And then as we move to the front section, you can see also the front-facing LED warning lights. Congratulations, Clackamas County Fire District Number 1, Oregon, on your new fire apparatus, job number 32517. If you have any questions regarding your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire Sales Representative. Congratulations.